and alive. Interestingly enough, today I gave a talk at our Toastmasters Club. I think I mentioned it yesterday about these broadcasts every day, and it went down very well. People thought it was very interesting what we've been doing, and hopefully that we can continue doing this for a while. We'll see. Today's reading is, let me just increase the size of it a little bit. It's actually called Letting Go and Letting In. Letting go and letting in. And I honestly, it's kind of a repeat of some of the stuff that we've looked at earlier. It's in a way a different way of looking at the same thing. You'll see what I mean when I read it if you've been keeping up with these. I was going to say podcasts. I'm actually in the process of working up to starting some podcasts, but that's not quite there yet, and that's really not subjective today. But you'll find out that it all seems to be interconnected. I know we had our reading yesterday was called Interconnected, but I think you'll see as we read through it that these are that the highs get higher, but also the lows get higher as well. So you never descend to that level that you were at before. It's always higher, and it's forever ascending in a spiral. At least that's what Ernest Holmes said. And this is what Reverend Ryan has to say about this. The reading is a little bit shorter than yesterday. I know when my wife read the reading last night, she said, wow, that was a long one. I didn't really think so. Now that I look back on it, I can see parts of it on the screen here. It does look a bit long, but it's not all that long. Anyway, I'll get on with it. As we explore what it means way. Sometimes these walls can come down in one fell swoop, but often it's a brick by brick demolition process. This takes vulnerability. It takes a willingness, and sometimes a willingness to be willing, to allow our thoughts, emotions, ideas, creativity, messiness to be fully seen, not only by others, but also by ourselves. I'm going to come back to that. It is in letting go that we gain a deeper understanding of our connection. Handling or some things major. If it's smaller stuff, yeah, it's probably okay. But the bottom line is that in some way, shape, or form, with or without outside help, I believe we have to reconcile ourselves with ourselves before we can be vulnerable. Maybe there are some people around who can actually just be vulnerable while they haven't reconciled it with themselves, and they can just let that interface with other people do that. But I don't think I can do that. I think I have to, first of all, admit to myself what it is and start working on it. And then, yes, then be open about it, because it's always beneficial to share things with other people. You know, when I have instructed people on how to give presentations, how to give speeches, talks, and so on and so forth, what I have done is I've recorded the person doing something similar and then gone back with that person and looked at the recording and gone through each piece so that the person can see themselves exactly what it is they're doing. They can see the good and they can see what's not so good. And it's kind of the same way with this. So this is my recommendation. Yes, you know, as we let go of our old habits, thought patterns, whatever they are, yes, we begin to grow. And when we share them with other people, yes, that really does help a lot. However, you've got to remember, you know, the words of Jesus when he said that the house that's founded on rock, on a solid foundation, withstands the storm, but the one that's built on sand gets washed away. You got to make sure that you are on sound ground before you can start being vulnerable and open with other people. As I said, unless it's somebody who's trained to actually help you through that process. That's really all I got to say about this today. As I said, we're talking about vulnerability, about being open, about being honest with to ourselves first, and then to other people. And it's kind of an ongoing message that Reverend Ryan has been giving us, which is about growth, vulnerability, and so on and so forth, owning up to what is ours to own up to. The affirmation is, I let go and let in all. I let go and let in all that life has to offer. I let go and let in all that life has to offer. It's pretty simple. But remember, simple doesn't always equate with easy. The two things are definitely not the same. It's a simple act to throw a baseball, but it isn't easy to perfect it. Lots of things in life are simple, but they're not easy. Anybody can throw a ball, but can you throw it effectively? Well, that's an entirely different story. Of course, had I been in Europe or outside of the US, I would have used a different scenario. I would have talked about football, aka soccer here, kicking a ball, kicking a penalty kick, or something like that. They would have understood me. Or maybe in England or around the English-speaking world, apart from the US and Canada, or maybe even in Canada, cricket. I'd use a cricket analogy, but there you are then. Remember, Reverend Lisa will be back on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow Friday. Yeah, I should be back about 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. I think that's okay. I have a relatively busy day, but 5 o'clock should work. And just remember this, that whatever has gone on in the past, whatever you've done, whatever you may be ashamed of, and I'm ashamed of some stuff that I've done in the past, whatever it is, you are in this now moment. And it's in this now moment that you're living. You're not living in the past. Do you need to make amends to other people? I don't know. Only you know that. Only I know that for me. But the bottom line is that when we say you're whole and perfect as you are, what we're saying is in this very moment, in this very instant, you're not your past. You are as you are now. And your spiritual work will help you build on that foundation to create a better future. So until next time, please take care of yourselves. Namaste.